Editing Randy here. I just want to put it out there that after making this entire video with these bracelets, I just want to let you know that mistakes were made in the first one. But that's fine. I'm going to include that footage here because it really helped out with learning what not to do in the second one. So FYI, I'm just letting you know if you're following along with these as they're playing, mistakes were made in the first one. All that to say this, let's get down into it. Hello, party people. It is Randy for Thunderhorse Descendant. We are here today with project number 5. Project number 5 from Bargain Bead Box. So, let me just show you the little inspirational picture that we chose for this. So this is the bracelet. Looks like so. Okay. Looks like that. And we are going to be using just the little flowers today. So these are the little flowers. Okay. So I do have 2 of them, and I'm going to set up my Beadalon. I'm setting up my Beadalon coiling gizmo. This is the deluxe Beadalon coiling gizmo, and we're going to try a couple of different things here. So this is really simple. You just adhere it to your desk. It's got little screws on the bottom. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Okay. Make sure it's on there good. Alright. I'm just gonna move this down here. So for the time being, this is going to be our outlook. Okay, so I have a mandrel here. This one is the second largest one. I want to say it's like 3 millimeters. This one must be 3 millimeters. So what we're going to do is we're going to stick this through here and into here. And before we tighten that up, so I have this one. This is my braided wire that I had left over from the last project. So this is the same size mandrel. I just wrapped it around this thing for the braided one. But now if you didn't have braided wire, we are going to use a couple of pieces of 20 gauge here. Maybe we are. Holy Hannah. Let me just cut this. It's getting out of control. Losing control of the ship. Oh, there it went. Okay. So it is going to take a little bit of wire here. So I've got, I don't even know how much wire, and I'm just gonna cut it in half. Because we need 2 pieces. Okay, that's the moral of the story. We need 2 pieces of 20 gauge to start out with. And we are going to put these 2 pieces in here with this guy. And we're going to see if we can't get everything to bite on here while we tighten this up. Are y'all in there? This one's not in there. Come on, you. Pretty good out of 10. Okay, now we're going to take both of these, and we are hold on, my thing's coming loose here. Everything is coming loose. There we go. Now we got it, I think. Okay, now we're going to start coiling. So basically what we're doing is we're making a braided wire if you didn't have one. So you're just taking 2 pieces. And I mean, obviously it's not going to be braided, but you're going to get a little bit of something that you didn't have before. Why does this keep coming loose? Put that. Okay. So we're just going to wind it up here. Two at a time. Now you could cross over itself if you wanted. You don't have to. Maybe I'll make a little bit of texture in this wire, so I will let it go back on itself a little bit. Okay. Do it again. I'll go over a little ways. And I'll let it go on itself. Yep. Tangled up. Or tangled up. Nobody said it was going to be easy. I'm going to tell you that much. There we go. Had a little kink in the wire. Okay, where am I at here? Okay, now I'm out of that one, and so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it go back. So this is going to give it like that little braided effect. Okay, so there we are. Okay, so we're gonna let's just get all this down here where it's supposed to be. Okay, and then I can release this. And I'm going to push it down a little more. Okay. And so this is what we end up with. So this is giving it a little bit of texture, a little bit of braided effect. Okay. Is it perfect? No. But this is what the actual braided chain looks like, which is why I already had this one ready. So I wanted you guys to be able to see it. Okay. So we got 2 different styles here, which is fine. So that's what we got. And now I'm going to flip down so that you can see what's going on. All right, guys, here we are on the mat. So here's a little better close-up of the 2. So this is 2 pieces of 20 gauge wire. And this is the braided wire. Okay, so we're going to have 2 different styles for our 2 different bracelets. The next step is for us to create the spiral that's going to hold on this center piece. So I'm going to get ready to do that. I'll be right back. Alrighty, party people. Well, it's been a couple of days since I've been working on this project, so I gotta remember what I'm doing here. It was Black Friday and all of the sales and things, so I was busy doing that, and I'm taking time out of the shipping to finish up with these videos because we gotta do that. Anywho, I think the last thing that I showed you was that I had wound up this 2 pieces of 20 gauge and that we were going to make these 2 bracelets. This one is using the braided gauge, which I just wrapped around this dowel. If you don't have a, I have the beadle on wire gizmo. So that's these 2. This is what they look like close up, if I can get my camera to focus. Okay, so let's refer to our inspirational photo. So I can remember what's going on. Okay, so looks like we have to create a spiral. We have to create this spiral piece around our component, right? Oh boy, dropped it on the floor. And then create the hook part. Okay. Hold on. I've dropped my pieces on the floor. Oh boy. Okay, so first things first, what I think we ought to do is we ought to create the spiral for these backs. So let's get all this out of the way and zoom us on in a little bit. Now there's going to be some hammering in case you are listening on headphones or something. I think we should do, I got this out. This is 12 gauge wire. I feel like we should do this in 12 gauge, the hammering portion of this, just because I think that's going to be where it's at. Looking at the flat gauge wires I have out. Now flat gauge, this particular one, which is 5 millimeters. Is this other one the same size? Yes. So this is 5 millimeters, and I just don't think that it's going to be just a little bit too big for our spirals. So I don't think that's going to work. So I'm going to go ahead and go with the 12. And we shall see what we get here. So this is the 12. So basically we got to find a way to connect this 12 gauge wire onto here and then create a spiral with it, but we have to be able to create that flat portion. So, let me see what I can do here. I'm going to get, I'm going to get a little bit of wire for myself here. This is like, I don't know if I'll need this much, but this is, at this point we're kind of in trial and error right here, so I just want to have more than I need. Okay. So I was thinking like, oh, I could just go in here, but this is too small for that. So I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to kind of weave around the leaves. So let me start by going through this is like not camera friendly, let me tell you that much for free. So it's going to make kind of like a little loop almost, like a hook. And I'm going to start weaving through these leaves. I just need to be able to get all the way around. Alright. So I can start my spiral. Alright, you. Get in there. So, All right, we're in it. We're in it. So this is like this is not supposed to be part of the design. This is just to hold it on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come out of there. And now, at this point, I'm going to start creating a spiral that hopefully we are going to be able to hammer. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create an L here. And I'm going to create the spiral up here so that I can fold it in. You know what I mean? So that I can hammer it flat and then fold it in on top of this. So I'm going to create like a lollipop situation here. And then I'm going to start creating the spiral. Now the problem with that is that I'm going to have to start from the outside and then create it in the middle, which honestly I've never done before. So we're about to find out if I can do it. Another way we might be able to do this is, I'm going to leave some space, is if I create a loop here. Let's see if I can create a loop. Yeah, I mean, this might work, but I'm not making any promises. Okay, so then I'm just going to create a loose spiral here that is going to basically act as a backing for our finding. So it doesn't have to be anything crazy. You want it to be a little bit loose because we are going to hammer this flat. And when we hammer this flat, it's going to spread out, right? So we're just going to try it because that's the name of the game. It's the name of the game. Name of the game is give it a whirl. Literally. So I'm thinking that's good enough. So I'm just gonna go with this, which is kind of excessive. But I'm thinking, like, if I don't like some of them, I'll be able to cut them off once we fold it in. More is always better, I feel, in this scenario than not. Okay, here's going to be the hammering portion. So if you need to turn your volume down, please do that now. Oh, that tea is hot. I was like, oh, I'll have a little sip of tea. It's about to burn my face off. Jeepers. Okay. So now I am going to flip this way so that this part is facing up for when I start to hammer. Here we go. Now I can flip it. Maybe I can flip it. Let's see. Just needing this out of the way. And pretty good. That's pretty normal. Alrighty. So, I mean, Let's see. Let me just take a look at this. Oh, heater finally shut off. It's freezing in Minnesota, so sorry. Yeah. So it looks like they have one end on there, and then this is just a hook that hooks in. It doesn't like really attach to anything. It's just like just a little hook, almost like an S hook looking type situation. So if you going this way, all right, okay, okay. So put that on there, and then I'm going to trim this, and I'm just going to create a hook like so. I'm going to leave it open. Oop. So this is how they have theirs, but I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't know if I like it very much. I mean, this is how they have it. My bead popped off. Okay. Couple of options, I think. First of all, I think that we gotta do something with this. I don't know. Let's hammer it flat. This bead's gotta stay on there. Something's gotta happen. Because otherwise it's just gonna like, the whole thing is gonna come popping off. So I'm gonna hammer this. I'm hammering. Just to give it that work harden. And now I'm going to come in here in this wire, and I'm going to squish this in. All the way. So that doesn't pop out of there. But also to hold it down a little bit in place, and also for that, I'm going to pull this so I got a little slack, and I'm going to make more of a shape here to prevent that bead, hopefully, to prevent that bead from popping up here. I don't know if that's going to work, to be honest with you. Yeah, it's going to fall off. Okay, well, we'll leave it like that. We'll just tighten the wire up. It's probably one of the reasons that they don't have a bead on theirs. Let's come down here. And so now I got a bead down here I don't need. Can I break it? But, well, maybe that's, we're going to call that a design choice. I'm going to try to tighten this wire in. Okay. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. So, then, this is just to pop into there. And here is supposed to be our bracelet. Okay, just checking it out here, checking it out. I mean, to be quite honest with you, it's not horrible. Let me put this in a little more. This wire that I'm using, it's flaking, the paint is flaking off, but I mean, that's the biggest gauge wire that I have, so we're kind of stuck with it. I'm just giving this hopefully a little less of a sharp edge. Okay. All in all, it's not horrible. Needs a little work. Needs a little bit of work, but I do kind of like it as far as like the whole part here. Now, if I put it on, can I get it on? That's the other question. Can I get it on there? I got my loop 2 loop-de-loop here. It's too much. Bring it out a little bit. Okay. And then I just shove that under there, like so. Ugh, this wire is not a good choice. It's not a good choice. Look at that. But, okay. However, I'm not mad at it. Let me just back you up a little bit. Now, if you're like, what's going on here, Randy? Well, this is not anything I've ever made before. This is just something we saw in the book. See, that's how it goes. Now, this part, I like that. The whole hook part of this is not actually bad. I feel like it's a little bendy, but everything that needs to be, like, has been work hardened, so it's not like it's gonna break or anything. So this one is a little bit big for me. Might have to take it back a little, but it's not bad. Of course, I used this wire, which was a bad choice. This 12 gauge, whatever, beadle-on wire. Not a good choice because the color is flaking off. But the gold wire is quite good, and it doesn't itch, you know, like I thought it would. It actually feels kind of nice. So, like, I might even be able to just take this portion off and use that, which is kind of cool because it kind of goes with all my stuff here. Anyway, so this is number 1, okay? So we learned some stuff. We learned some stuff. I can give you that much. We did learn some stuff. Not mad at it. Not mad at it. Interesting. It's quite interesting. Especially if you were to use different colored wires or something, you know, to that effect. Now I'm thinking, should I put these in here? I don't know. So, from this experience, we're going to move into the second one. Now, with the second one, we did not use the braided wire. We just used this kind of wire. So let's take what we've learned from the first one and assess the situation. Now, I think with this one, we could do a little different ending portion. And because I'm using 20 gauge gold on that one, let's use some 20 gauge gold over here to attach it on with. And see how that goes. Maybe with this one, you know what? Maybe with this one, let's take a bead. Let's see if this will work. I'm just going to use this gold bead because we kind of got a gold theme going on here. And I'm going to try to go in through the top. So, again, this is how we learn things. We've learned quite a few things based off this first one. So now what I want to do is I want to try to make that spiral less businessy, right? So I think what I will do here is I'm going to take, you could do it 2 ways, I think. If you put your bead on, you go through the top of the flower. You could then spiral the bottom, but you could also do like a swooshy, you know, like a squiggle here on the top if you like that kind of thing. Or you could double up and go through twice with this. Let me try that. That's kind of good. Let's see what we get here. Okay, I'm liking that. I like the way this is going. Let me get this in the middle and then get this pulled down. Okay. So now we have this, right? So let's just take this to the back. Let's do a twist. Just do a twist to lock that bead up. It's a small one. And then let's spiral both of these. Maybe we twist them together. Right? Just for funsies, just to give it a little more stability. I'm holding the twist with pliers because if you twist it too much, you're going to break your wire off, right? So I'm twisting one around the other. So now I, in essence, have one piece of wire, which always is pretty good. So now let's see if we can't start here and then start maneuvering it around like so. It's a lot harder to work with because it is twisted doubled up wire, obviously. But okay, let's get it in a spiral just to create a backing. This is not, I'm not looking to see this really at all above the flower. This is kind of a little different operation we got going on here. And then once we have that and it's in place, we should be able to take this portion, flip it out, and do the same thing that we did here with this one, where we create this loop. So to create the loop, we could, you know, do a single loop and flatten it, which is an option, or we could do a wire wrapped loop, right? Let's put a bead on there, because that's kind of what we were trying to do the first time. Put a bead on there. And, well, this is a large hole bead, and it's kind of being a problem. So maybe not this one. Let's put this one. And then let's create a wire wrap loop here. Because, like, this could almost be a pendant, and that's kind of how I foresee what they're doing. But to me, this is just a little more stable, you know, than the single loop situation. But this is what we've learned from making the first one. So now, we can take our 20 gauge wire, and we got to run a wire through this. Now, I don't know if I have a higher gauge gold wire than the 20 right here. What is this? 18. This is bronze. 16, 14, 12. But they're all bronze. So, I mean, whatever. Maybe that's fine. I think this is a 14. And I'm just utilizing this because it's a little more sturdy. And I get about a loop and a half of this just to be the base. I'm really only going to see it in the connection portion, so I feel like that's fine. Okay, so now I will create over here a single loop. I'm going to make it kind of bigger. Oops, sorry, trying to focus here. So there's my single loop, and I am going to work hard on it. Okay, so now it is going to act as kind of like a jump ring situation. Put it here. Close her back up. pretty stable. Okay, now we take our twisted wire. Now, I did not measure this, so, sorry, let me zoom you out. I didn't measure this, so I don't know exactly how long it's going to be. It looks fairly long. And by quite a lot, actually. I'm just wrapping it around my wrist so I can see the situation. I'm thinking I got to take off about 2 inches. So, I'm just going to go ahead and cut it. Let's eyeball it right. Didn't really want to go over that. How about right here? Okay. So I will use that little smidge for something else, but now here we are. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hammer down a little bit on here, a little bit, just a smidge, you know, nothing crazy, just to give it a little more structure. Alright, now we're talking. Now I'm going to thread this on. Okay. Bring this guy in here and create the shape. So when I'm creating this shape, I'm actually twisting this wire all the way around because it just will help it to form better, right? Nothing pretty. I am liking this. This is pretty good. Okay, so then, now since I don't have so much of a backing here, I am just going to connect to the flower, which I think will be a good idea because the flower is made of actual pretty sturdy wire, whatever they used here. Maybe it's been, you know, tumbled or something, or I'm not exactly sure what they've done, but it's pretty sturdy. So I'm going to use it to connect with. But first, okay, I think I have to put on a bead over here, right? So let me put a bead on. Hopefully it'll fit on here. If it doesn't, then okay. It doesn't. So what we'll do is for this one, we will use I want to make a hook for it? Do I want to use, all the things. All the things. The possibilities are endless. So you could just create a loop here and then put a bead and then use a hook and hook into the flower, which seems like a pretty good idea, right? Let's give that a whirl. So I'm just going to end this. I'm going to go ahead and tuck in some wires here. And I'm going to cut. And I'm just going to, oh, it wasn't pulled all the way down. Okay, I gotta trim again. Okay. I'm going to create a loop right here. Just a simple loop. Nice sad one, you know how I like to do. I'm gonna take my little hammer and work hard in it a little bit. Okay. And then this one, I am going to stand it up. So I'm going to go inside the loop. Oh, sorry. Right here. Inside the loop. And I'm going to push and pull at the same time to create it standing up. I am going to then tighten this back down a little, but I'm going to leave it loose. Oh, what the heck? Is that lipstick or blood? Okay, so then I'm gonna just tuck all this loose wires in. Make sure they're not popping out, hurting nobody. Okay, now here's your option. You can just put a jump ring. If you want to put a bead, you can, to match the other side here. Up to you. So do that with a wire wrap. I think I will do that with a wire wrap to make it match. Well, I've got a little smidge of wire here. And let me see if I got a gold jump ring that I would like to use here. No, it's probably fine. And I will use, I'll just use a lobster. I think I would like a smaller one. I think I would like a smaller one, so it's not so crazy. Sorry, the heater popped back out again. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just create a loop here. This is the same wire that I was using for the twisting. Put that on here. Okay. Oh, there we go. And wrap that guy around. Bead. Create another loop. Just doing a pretty small loop here just to get this bead on. So I'm going to be adding length by doing this. Got a little extra, so why not go for it and wrap around the bead. Just add a little detail to our bracelet here. We love that for us. Bring that in there. Push it on. Alright, and then all we have to do is put on our findings. I'm sorry if this has been like kind of a rough video with the heater and the couple of days apart and everything, and the maybe probably blurry camera views, but it's just been a day. Okay, we're just doing what we can. Okay, then we can hook right in. Now you could hook in wherever you want. You could hook into the bottom. You could hook into the leaf. I guess it depends on how much length you need here, because they can adjust, you know. I think I will hook on to the bottom portion. Here. Yeah. And it is going to give you a little bit of, but look, when you have it on, and once it gets warmed up, you know, you can have yourself a little bracelet. I actually quite just enjoy that part myself. So there we go. This is the second one. Now I will say I like the second one significantly more than I like the first one. However, both are good. This one has more of a backing, but like I said, if you were using the right colors and everything for all this business, you would probably be doing pretty well. We learned a lot from this one to create this one, you know, about what we want, what we don't want. If this was too much length for you, another option would be to come in here and you could remove this and just put this onto here, you know, if you didn't need the length, and then you could just hook on if you don't mind the extra bead. But okay, hear me out. What if you just went like this? Oh, that. Does that work? Let me put it on. I have a little tiny wrist, so let's see if I can maneuver this the way I need to with the hook here. It's very rough. Let's see. It's just that I can't bend it that way. I bend it before I try to put it on. Let's try that. Bend it into place. Okay. Hold on, I'm getting somewhere. I could just do this by myself. Hey, there we go. With all my not broken wire yet is the problem. This wire not broken. Okay, now I quite enjoy this above all else. I'm not gonna lie to you. Look at that. Got your little bead detail. Don't mind that. I was struggling to get it on because it's not, you know, conformed to me yet. And then you got this little part that hangs down. I actually like that quite a lot more than the other part, but okay, if you wanted to go this way, you could. Okay, you can put this one on there. I will say that one hooks in a lot easier. Okay, so we're learning things, okay? This is what I've learned. That is all that matters. This one would work both ways if you needed the length for it. Okay, by adding the lobster, I do really like this design here better. Even with the hanging down part, I might put in a jump ring onto this, or maybe on here so that it can dangle a little better, because it's not really, because I got, what I got is I got my lobster in front of my pendant because I couldn't get it on. But if I put it on the other side, then we'd be doing pretty good. I really do like this. I like this a lot. A lot. Like, I would make some bracelets with that. I gotta go in and tuck a few wires, but I mean, this is just made out of wire. This is where we just twisted the wires, the 20 gauge together. It looks really nice. You wouldn't have to have this. You could just have beads in this, right? Or whatever. I do like that. Now this one, on the other hand, I do like the spirally business to make it look more of a focal with a backing. I will say it is not as pokey. Things to know. It is not as pokey because it's all flat and I hammered it and it's fine. Now if you put some beads in here, that's going to give that a little more contrast. Like if you wire wrapped in a few beads here, it's going to give this guy more contrast and it's going to make it look more like a flower, right? And you could do that. I do really like this band part. It makes it feel like it is like actually supposed to be a bracelet, like, you know, like these would be. And quite honestly, so let's turn this around. quite honestly, what I'm learning is I really like this. This is what I like. Okay, so that's me though. That's a personal preference. But yeah, very interesting and not hard. Not hard. Like as far as like if you don't do the pendants or if you just use the dangly bits, like if you were just to make the bracelet portions by just wire wrapping them and then running a wire through them and like hammering the end, not hard at all. So that is my assessment of what we've made of the two. I really do like this one better. I do like wearing it this way. I will probably keep this one. This one I'll probably rework because it's got to rework it a little bit. I don't like this wire the way it was flaking off and the like color of it or whatever. So maybe I'll just make one like this with this tube that's already done up, you know. So there we go. Oh, let me show you the picture. Of course, the picture, our inspiration picture is significantly better than what we've done, but I mean, not bad, I gotta say, for just figuring it out. Also maybe try with an actual shank button. See, these are shank buttons, which make them a lot easier to work the spiral around. See, like I was saying, we don't know what their spiral looks like on the bottom. And then it looks like after they spiraled it, then they hammered it, right? To work hard it. This is not, there's one with a bead. This is not hard. It just kind of depends on your personal preferences, I think. So I actually really enjoyed these. This is not something that I would normally do. So that's good. You know, we're getting out of that quote unquote the box and we're trying different stuff. So there we go. This was Project 5, y'all. A little bit all over the place. A little bit crazy town, but fun nonetheless. And we did learn some stuff. So I hope you guys are all having a lovely, spectacular, amazing beading day. Let it down in the comment. What did you think? Would you try it? Which one of these two do you like better? The one with the braid or the one with the twisted wire? Do you like this hangy down style? Do you like this style? You could put leather on the back of this. Like, what would you do? Super good. So I'm going to be moving on to Project 6 now, and we're just going to have ourselves a lovely day. I hope that you guys are having a wonderful, spectacular, amazing beading day, letting the magic in, letting things be however it is that they want to be, and just going with it. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.